Right guys, today I'm just walking in the beautiful countryside. I've been asked a lot of questions by you guys. I get this question a lot, like about living in the Philippines, how much money do I need, I want to retire there, etc. So today we're just going to run through some of it from my perspective, my point of view. I'm always as real and honest with you guys about everything as I can be. I don't need to like bullshit to you to get like views and just please the Filipino audience to grow my channel. It's not what I'm about. I just like to give my opinion, what I think of my experience here. So those of you who don't know the channel, I've lived in Philippines now for 2 years in Cebu city and in the province of Cebu as well, in the mountains. So I've lived in accommodation like what Filipinos would live in that cost like $80 a month. I've lived in more high-end condos, and also I've lived in the province where I am now, in the mountains. So for me, I think I've done quite a lot different living conditions, so I can give you a good idea of like the pros and cons of living in the Philippines and what you should expect. So let's jump into it. We'll start with the cons, I suppose, because there are obviously a lot of cons, especially for like Western tourists coming. You will see a lot of videos on YouTube, of course. They always promote Philippines is a lovely country, which it is, but no one really like tells you like what the negative is, because they don't want to, I don't know, maybe upset Filipino viewers. But we just have to be real so people get some like good information. So what would I say the negatives are? For me, a lot of people are going to come and think it's just like super cheap place to live. You're going to be able to come with like $1,000, $2,000 a month and live a great life, which you can, but it depends how you live. So if you're going to come and live in the province and live like a local Filipino, yeah, you can live for sure off $1,000 a month. But if you like your comforts like you have in US or Europe, you need a bit more, to be fair. So basically, condo wise, for me, having lived in 2 different countries in Asia and spent a lot of time in Vietnam also, I would say your money doesn't go that far here for what you get. So like, for example, for $300 to $500 you will get a great condo in Thailand and Vietnam with all the amenities, nice gym, nice swimming pool. In Philippines, sure, you can find it as well, but it's not up to the same standard, and normally the room is a lot smaller and basic. So that's one thing to take into consideration. You have to think where you want to live. Do you want to live in a condo? Do you want to live in the province? Are you okay to just live in a room like a local Filipino would? So everything depends really like how you want to live. Another con for me, being the foodie that I am, you guys that have watched my channel will know I am not a fussy guy at all with the food. I can eat anything. When I lived in Cebu city, to be honest, I ate in the correnderias most days. I've tried pretty much every Filipino food you could try. And when people ask me about Filipino food, what do I think? I always tell them the truth. For me, yeah, they have dishes that are nice, no doubt. But if you're a real foodie and food is important, I would say Philippines isn't the place to move. Like I said, I've had much better food in every different country in Southeast Asia: Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Thailand. And for me, Philippines ranks more lower in the food. I always say this: how many people did you hear say, oh, let's go to a Filipino restaurant? So yeah, if you're a foodie, I would really consider that, because food's quite important to me, and sometimes I have a hard time here. Like, I'm not fussy at all, I can eat everything, but just for like pure enjoyment of eating, I would prefer to stay in another place. So if food is very important, you have to think about that. What else can I say? Medical for you oldies and you young ones as well. If you get into any accidents, if you have insurance, you'll be okay. Some of you will have seen the video where I got sick, I don't have insurance, I had to go to hospital. It's generally inexpensive. I paid stayed in hospital all day, had to get hooked up to an IV drip, all the medications. It cost me $200, including the ambulance, to go to the hospital. So really cheap medical care. I wouldn't worry too much about it, as most of you are going to have insurance. And of course the medical care is good. As you know, Filipino nurses are everywhere worldwide. They all speak English very well, so you will have no problems here with medical care. So I suppose that is a pro. Another thing I just want to emphasize as well, many people really think the Philippines is dirt cheap. And guys, it is if you live like a Filipino, like I said before. But most Westerners that are coming here, they're not going to want to eat in coranderies every day. Let's just be honest. They're going to want some home comforts. So when you're going to go to these restaurants and such, the price is a lot more than in other places in Asia. For me, for example, I've eaten in restaurants in Vietnam. It's a hell of a lot cheaper than here in the Philippines. So if you're the kind of person who doesn't like to cook and likes to eat out every day, you have to take this into consideration too. But like I said before, if you come into the Philippines for the food, it's probably better to not. And for me, guys, when people ask me, I'll try and be as honest as I can when they ask me what's the biggest negative for me living in the Philippines. So what would be my biggest negative is just trying to get stuff done here. They say, you will have seen people say, oh, Philippines will teach you patience and that. I don't think it will teach you patience. I think it will test your patience for sure, especially coming from the West, where we used to everything being done quick, 100 miles an hour. Here you can go into a supermarket, it should be a 5-minute job and it'll take you half the day. Those who have lived here will know what I mean. There's a queue. There's thousands of staff, but there's still a queue in the supermarket. I don't know why it happens, but it just happens. Everything here runs on really slow time, is the only way I can explain it. If you want to get anything done, I don't know, just simple tasks that you would think, oh, I'll go and do this, and then go and do this, you'll probably end up only doing one, and it'll take you half the day or the full day. It's just very common here in the Philippines. It doesn't seem to bother the local people too much, but I see a lot of Westerners, they're just oh, what's going on here? You can see it in their face. So if you're not a very patient person, it is very hard. For me, I'm not so patient, because I've got stuff to do, I see a lot of old guys who are retired here, oh, the foreigners are too impatient, da-da-da-da-da. It's okay if you're retired and you're just chilling and don't really have much to do with your life, or don't want to do much with your life. But when you've got stuff to do and places to be, and the bureaucracy here and all that, it's just a complete mess, to be honest. To get anything done just takes forever. So yeah, really take that into consideration as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. That's the main negative for me. As I said to you before about the previous stuff, I'm not really fussy where I live or with food. The food kind of gets on my nerves a bit after a bit. I think I just want to eat some nice food, and it's harder to get such a variety as other countries. So guys, let's move on to a few of the positives about living in the Philippines. For me, the positives is the weather. Although it's rain season now, but in Cebu it doesn't rain that much. It's just on and off. But the weather's great. You have this beautiful scenery. It never really drops below 22 degrees, so it's really hot all the time. So yeah, that's nice if you like the heat, which I do. Another pro is you're in a beautiful country. You can travel all around the Philippines, beautiful islands, mountains. Literally the Philippines have everything you can imagine. It has big cities like Manila. It has the islands with the clear water like El Nido, Palawan. Just have everything. You have the mountains up in Baguio. So if you live in here and you like to travel around a bit, it's great. You know, you can do it pretty much relatively cheap. Internal flights here don't cost so much. Sometimes if you book them last minute they can, but if you plan in advance you can fly everywhere pretty cheap. So that's a huge pro. You literally have everything on your kind of doorstep if you want it. Especially here in Cebu, you can just hop on the motorbike and go to Oslo, Mobile, all these kind of places. So we're pretty close to nice beaches everywhere. Another pro of living in the Philippines is, of course, what everyone says, the Filipino people. They're just so like welcoming, friendly. It doesn't matter where you go, to be honest. You guys will see my videos. I go into the areas, hang on, motorbike. I go into the areas where Filipinos even tell me, why are you going there? You should not really go there. But those who watch my videos will know, always just friendly, welcoming, good vibes. It doesn't matter where you go, like what conditions the people are living in, they just try and welcome you into their home to give you food. So it's a really like nice environment to live in. You don't feel like really unsafe everywhere. Everyone's just like, hey, what's up, Americano, hello Joe, all this kind of thing. So yeah, really nice place, and everyone that lives in the Philippines or has visited the Philippines will know what I'm talking about. You just feel like everyone looks at you smiling, hey. So nice environment to live in for sure. I don't really know what else to say, guys, without like rambling on too much, but those are kind of the main points I would say. Like, many people always ask me about the budget and stuff. Like, it's impossible to say because everything depends like how you want to live and where you want to live, like what food you want to eat, etc. But yeah, it will be cheaper than living in the US or Europe for sure. But some things like the supermarket and stuff, it's not so much cheaper. Like, it surprises a lot of people. Like, you know, we have the Aldis and Lidls in Europe, and if you shop like here in Philippines, your grocery shop could end up at being the same price. Of course, here they have the local markets where you will get it a hell of a lot cheaper if you don't mind to go and shop there. But generally, supermarkets, if I compare Europe, Philippines, it's near enough the same. Just to finish off this video, I get some like crazy emails and stuff with people saying like, oh, I've never been to the Philippines, but I'll watch a few videos, I like just want to move out there. That's fine, like, but I will give you like, from my opinion, I did the same thing. I'll watch and research a little bit before I come here to have an idea what it would be like. But people on YouTube can show you what they want. We can show you the best of a place, we can show you the worst of a place. So what I would say is just come out here and try and experience it for yourself before you like fully commit and decide to move. For me, people say I'll go out there for a month and I'll decide. For me, I've had holidays for 2 months. You cannot decide after 2 months. You need to come out here for 6 months to a year, get a condo in a place you think you want to live, just stay there and really like see how you like it. Try and get a motorbike. You'll have to do a few things in like offices and stuff like that, and you will get more of an idea how it is to live here and like what you're going to spend on a daily and like stuff like that. But I would definitely say 6 months to a year before you decide to fully commit and move, because like I said, I think Philippines is great country to travel. If you come here and just like travel around, you'll have an amazing time, meet amazing people. But to live here is like different because you're going to be based somewhere. You're not going to be traveling all the time, so you will see more of like, I suppose, the negative side of the country when you live there. So really like come out here for 6 months first and check it out. Okay guys, that's it for this video. I think I've gave you kind of just a couple of negatives and couple of positives about the place. Only my opinion, other people may think different. Like I said, I try not to bullshit, guys. There's many positives about the Philippines, there's many negatives also, like everywhere in the world. Like I said before, before I come here, I watched a lot of channels, and when I got here I had a nice shock because I only found that they showed the positives. They never really try and say anything negative because it might hurt their channel, because Filipinos are very proud, of course, of their country, and if someone says something negative, sometimes they jump in the comments and like are in attack mode. But you know me, guys, those who watch me know I'm a real dude. I'll always give you like my honest opinion. I don't care if it offends anyone, upsets anyone. I just try and give you like the best information I can give you from my perspective, so hopefully it helps some of you out. I try and answer as many questions as I can, so if you have any questions, like, you can either send me a message on Facebook, Instagram, email, whatever. I try and get through as many of them as I can. But yeah, like I said, any questions about living in the Philippines, just let me know. I'll try and help you out. So we'll see in the comments. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you will have some stuff to say, so we will see, but that's just my opinion. People have asked me, would I live here full time? For me, the answer is I love the Philippines, great place to travel, but would I live here full time? Probably not. It would probably like wreck my head after a bit, like I said, just because I like stuff to be done, and although the people here are happy and like beautiful people, just like good vibes all around, sometimes that's just like not enough to like stay in a place. You know, you need stuff to work. Like for example in Cebu city, it's a lot different to Manila. It's only a small city, so there's not so much to do. Like for me as a young dude here, there's not so many places to go, not so much to do if you compare to another city like Saigon, Bangkok, Phnom Penh. The feeling I get, there's just more to do there. I know people are going to be in the comments now saying, oh, you should go to Manila, there's more to do. Yeah, I agree, there is more to do in Manila, but we're talking about Cebu because that's where I'm living. And guys, I have been to Manila also, and Cebu is a lot cheaper than Manila for cost of living. Just for those who are interested to know the difference between the two, you will end up paying a lot more in Manila for food, for accommodation, for pretty much everything. So that's another thing to take into mind. And you're in a busy, hectic city, so a lot more people. I know a lot of older foreigners choose like this region, stay in Dumaguete. It's more peaceful, chilled out. They still have like beaches and all of that, so there's a lot more expats around that area. And yeah, that's it for today's video, guys. I don't want to ramble on and bore you anymore. Any questions, just hit me up and we'll see you on the next video.